This is the inspiring story of those who survived narcissistic abuse and became stronger. The road to recovery from narcissistic abuse can be long and arduous, but it is well worth the effort. Experiencing narcissistic abuse is traumatic and can cause a wide range of feelings, and it takes time to heal from this experience. However, progress and healing are impossible without first confronting and overcoming the fundamental difficulties. An integral part of this procedure is forgiving those involved. It's essential for recovery to forgive both the narcissist for the harm they have done and oneself for any inadequacies or errors. While this doesn't mean you have to excuse the narcissist's actions or pretend they never happened, it does mean you can move past the painful feelings that have been holding you back. It's equally important to work toward eliminating the possibility of a repeat of the difficulties you faced. Separating yourself from the narcissist, establishing healthy boundaries with others, and surrounding yourself with positive influences are all steps in this direction. Additionally, it is recommended to seek treatment or counseling to help you process your experiences and move ahead while simultaneously working on enhancing your sense of self-worth and self-esteem. Understanding that healing is not a discrete occurrence, but rather an ongoing process is crucial. Healing and moving on could be a long, drawn-out process. Finding happiness and contentment again is attainable with time, patience, and the correct support. Keep in mind that everyone heals at their own pace. Yours may be much faster or slower than average. It's crucial to tune in to one's inner voice and proceed at one's own pace. It's not healthy to look at how quickly others recover and pressure yourself to do the same. Keep in mind that recovery is a process that can be accomplished with time and perseverance. So, why wouldn't those who have overcome narcissistic abuse discuss how it altered their lives? Because of how devastating it is to suffer narcissistic abuse. There is, however, a bright side to this narrative that is rarely brought up in conversation. Our topic of conversation is what you are going to hear. We'll go over some of the ways a narcissist's abuse might change you for the worse. If you want to be sure to view all of the newest videos I publish, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification. Let's get started. The first positive effect of narcissistic abuse is that it encourages you to learn more about yourself, go into your history, and pinpoint the trauma cycles that were exacerbated by your interactions with the narcissist. It helps you understand your childhood more fully, including any experiences you had of abandonment, neglect, or abuse at the hands of your parents. In the wake of this insight, you are extended a welcome to aid in their healing and step into the role of parent you were never given. As a result of the healing that comes from following one's ideas and moving out into the world, people are less likely to fall into toxic relationships or with immuno-narcissists. If you know what you're worth and whom you need to be with, you can make more conscious choices in your romantic and platonic situations. This brings us to the second. It's a test of your mettle that reveals just how tough you really are. Because accepting that narcissist abuse is not as terrible as you might imagine allows you to learn that you are more resilient than you give yourself credit for. It's like a war on the battlefield, but in your head. So, the bruises and wounds aren't readily apparent on the surface, but they're every bit as serious and agonizing on the inside. It takes strength of character to triumph in such a fight, and the fact that you are still here and able to hear and read what I have to say is proof that you have what it takes to succeed. Before we go any further, I'm interested in learning how your exposure to narcissistic abuse has impacted you for the better. Share your thoughts and stories with us below. In third place, it teaches you to set boundaries and reject nonsense. This is due to the fact that trauma survivors already have developed patterns such as people-pleasing, codependency over giving, compliance, self-sabotage, and so on when they come into contact with the narcissist. Just put, we're fine with it. Since we lack a firm sense of self, we frequently look outside of ourselves for validation, and traumatic experiences can serve as a convenient proxy. Doing so is a definite way to foster attachment problems. Experiencing narcissistic abuse is traumatic, yet it can help you grow as a person. Thus, you will be more inclined to control your behavior in potentially embarrassing social circumstances. Constructing a safe haven out of one's own individuality and sense of self. Because you're human, you know your boundaries, and they know theirs. You have an accurate assessment of your own strengths and weaknesses, what to look for, and what to avoid in a potential companion. As a result, it promotes introspection, allowing you to, in the end, understand your existence's significance. Fourth, you improve your ability to read people and recognize trouble spots before they become major problems. Having experienced abuse at the hands of a narcissist, you get insight into others' minds. You are exposed to the seedier side of human nature. This allows us to classify it as a subset of deep learning. You start to understand people's habits and the ways in which they deviate from the norm. How can a person who has no integrity pretend to have any? And what does dishonesty look like? Given that you have survived all that, your life has shaped you in some manner. It doesn't matter that you haven't completed any official schooling, you still are. Have you become who you are because a narcissist raised you? That's why you've matured into such a perceptive student of humanity. Certainly you are. You begin to value depth above all else. This, in turn, facilitates the detection of potential threats. Learn from the indicators of danger. It is feasible to recognize warning signs early on and with little effort, rather than trying things, testing waters, and finding out after 2 months that, yes, it is indeed the same narcissist, the same person with a different face. Learning more about human nature and making better judgments while assembling a team could save a lot of time and effort in the long run. Fifth, it enhances your capacity for compassion and understanding for narcissistic abuse survivors. It causes excruciating pain that is very uncomfortable to endure. Thus, you have experienced true anguish and pain. You know what it's like to be included, to feel powerless and alone in the face of it. The emotional understanding of individuals comes after one has overcome adversity and begun to recover when one develops an appreciation for humanity as a whole. Having compassion for another person is the definition of empathy. Just what is it? To be in a position where getting assistance appears impossible. You understand what it means to be a supporter because you probably never received it yourself. You have a deep comprehension of what it means to be compassionate. Therefore, you grow as a complete human being. You can now have a more straightforward conversation. All of humanity. Care for one another, as a group and as individuals. Your spirit will soar. As a result, you'll feel better. To those who grasp my meaning, it will serve as a passageway to a higher level of consciousness. Self-awareness is heightened because of this. I hope this video helps you in some significant way. Leave a comment below and tell me what you think. Enjoy your day.